I'm Eric Connerton. You're watching Working for Your Wallet on CBS 8+. Every week, we'll take a look at the top consumer stories making headlines. We'll also go over ways to help you save money. Tax returns are due on Tuesday, April 15th. That's also the deadline to apply for an extension. That would give you until October 15th to file without penalties. And don't forget, there is a way to file for free. The IRS Direct File program started last year and allows eligible tax filers to submit their taxes directly to the IRS at no charge. If you're wondering when your refund will hit your account, check irs.gov. If you are still doing your taxes, the IRS is warning about bad advice on TikTok and other platforms. Josh Sidorowitz tells us how some Americans may be following false claims and missing out on legitimate deductions.
Scroll through social media and you will find all kinds of tips to file your taxes. Some claim tapping into obscure credits can even net you bigger refunds, from writing off your car or even your pet to hiring your own kids. But tax professionals caution following some of it could lead to fines and delays getting any refund you're actually owed.
There's just enough truth to be dangerous.
There's usually some credibility in the claim, the credit, the deduction. It does exist, but not the way they phrase it, and certainly not with the way they're intending it.
The problem prevalent enough now, the IRS says it is stepping up reviews of returns that claim these other withholdings, saying instead of looking to ill-informed information on social media, speak to a trusted tax professional. More than 700,000 taxpayers at the end of last year were still waiting on their refunds that were frozen for review by the IRS after claiming credits they potentially weren't eligible for. The National Taxpayer Advocate's annual report to Congress in January partly blaming misinformation on social media. Jackson Hewitt Chief Tax Officer Mark Stieber says the biggest mistake people make is not claiming credits they do actually qualify for, like the earned income and the child tax credit.
Here's the thing that people don't really fully appreciate. If you leave off an income item, if you leave off your crypto, the IRS is generally looking for that and you might get a question. But if you leave off the earned income credit, which about 1 out of 5 do every year, or you leave off a deduction related to your self-employment, the IRS doesn't say, oh, wait a minute, they don't add back deductions. They don't add back credits. You don't get a bigger refund from the IRS. You leave it off, it stays off.
And a lot of people are leaving a lot of money on the table. The IRS said in just 1 year, eligible taxpayers left more than $7 billion unclaimed, and that was just for the earned income tax credit. This year's filing deadline is April 15th. I'm Josh Sidorowitz, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Nonprofit America Saves, encouraging people to do a gut check on their finances and saving behaviors. Joining us now to talk about how we can save money, reduce debt, create better financial habits, Chantel Bonneau-Stewart, a wealth management advisor with Northwestern Mutual. Thanks so much for joining us, Chantel. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Boy, stocks, money, savings, a lot of discussions right now for you folks, right?
Always, always.
Talk a little bit about the back and forth. It seems like every time we update people on the Dow or the NASDAQ, it's up, it's down, it's over here, it's dropped a lot, it's coming back. What are people reaching out to you saying right now, and how are you reassuring them?
Well, volatility, I think, is the key word we're going to hear over and over again. That's maybe the only consistency, right, that we're hearing when it comes to the markets. Clients are reaching out right now saying, I think I know what you're going to say, but I just need to hear you say it. What is going on? Is this scary? Do I need to change course, change plan? And what I'm telling people is the fundamentals in the financial world work, and we need to pay attention to those in good times and more shaky ground, like we're in perhaps right now. And it's really an opportunity for us to remind our clients that it is really important to prioritize time horizon, goals, appropriate level of risk. When things are really good, nobody asks any
no one's calling you. Phones aren't ringing off the hook when things are going great.
Or I have to really push people to think through if they need to rebalance. Do we need to reduce risk? Are we overexposed because the market's gone up in one asset class? And is there proactive work to be done? So this is a good reminder that you need to pay attention to those fundamentals.
If there's someone that's maybe not as involved in the stock market, maybe they're a little younger and they're like, look, I just want some advice on a savings account. You know, I want to get my nest egg started here. What are some tips you have for them?
Absolutely. So saving, building a nest egg is paramount in all market conditions because financial security gives people so much freedom and lower stress in so many ways. So the first thing to do is start with what is your actual goal. Are we saving for an emergency fund, which is great, right? It's important to have money because things happen. Health issues, car breaks down, job loss. So an emergency fund is a really important first place to start. Everyone is different, but most people would say somewhere 3-6 months, depending on your job and your needs. So building those reserves and really looking at your budget on where is there an opportunity to save on a regular basis.
Right.
Where can you cut down? Many people get overexcited. They build a whole spreadsheet and then they lose steam after a day or two.
Yeah.
But there tends to be 1 or 2 areas that you really can look and maybe reduce your spending and make some real progress in what you can save.
What are some of the mistakes people make when they are going to save? They set aside the money, but then they're like, ooh, I didn't do that right.
So number one is sometimes I'll see people saving or hoarding cash, but they're paying 30% interest on credit cards.
Ooh, yeah, we don't want to do that.
So it's always a balance. You need to know your situation, but if you have maybe more cash than you need, does it make sense to get rid of some of that high interest? And then you could always, repurpose that if you need to later. Or you're saving and maybe you're not even taking advantage of a higher yield savings account.
Okay, yeah, because there's so many different types of accounts out there.
Yeah, and many people for the last 10 or 15 years are not used to seeing any interest in any of their accounts.
Yeah.
And today is not that way. So there might be an opportunity to get a couple percent, and that can be helpful. Don't forget, you will owe taxes.
That's
on
right,
that.
yes.
Don't be surprised.
That's a guarantee. There's not
Yes.
a lot of guarantees in life. That's
Correct.
one of them.
Correct. We're seeing
Yeah.
that today. People had a lot of money in high yield savings
Right.
accounts or CDs, and then they're baffled when they owe taxes on that. They know it, but they forgot
Yeah.
that was going to be something.
And always check in with your financial advisor. Or if you don't have one, it might be time to start interviewing, looking
Yes.
for one, right?
All these changes, whether it is having a savings account, building goals, or navigating a lot of market volatility, it's equal psychology
Yeah.
as it is math. So
Right.
making sure you have a partner that can help you think through these things and stay the course and really navigate your emotional response.
That's
is
right.
A big
Yeah,
piece
you've
of
been
the
kind of a
puzzle.
therapist lately too, haven't you?
Correct.
You've worn a lot of
Yes.
hats. All right. Hey, to learn more about America Saves Week, you can go to americasavesweek.org. And for help on savings goals and financial toolkits, a lot of information for you there. I'm glad they have this week, kind of an eye-opener for us and a reminder to get our finances in order. If people want to learn more about your services at Northwestern Mutual, Chantel, where can they go?
You can find me online, Google my name or chantel-bonneau.com.
All right.
And appreciate it.
Thank you for coming in. Right now, average monthly housing payments have hit an all-time high in the U.S. That's according to a new report from Redfin. The typical monthly housing payment in March was about $2,800. That's up 5.3% from a year earlier. The report blames home prices and high mortgage rates. The median U.S. home price is up 3% from last year. If you're looking to buy a home this spring, Realtor.com says the number of homes on the market is up from a year ago, surging 28.5% last month. Listings jumped between 44% and 68% in large metro areas, including San Diego, Atlanta, Las Vegas, and Washington, D.C. The median listing price was also down last month in many of the 50 biggest metro areas. It was down 4.8% from a year ago in San Diego, now $950,000. Look at that, below $1 million now. Look, raising kids is expensive. I have 3, I can verify this. A new report is shedding light on just how pricey it is, especially here in California. CBS 8's Shannon Handy has a breakdown on the cost and shares what experts say you can do to prepare.
Close to $300,000, according to LendingTree. That is how much it costs to raise just one child here in California, making us the 8th most expensive state in the country.
It is definitely expensive, and especially the older she gets, the more she eats, the different outfits.
Jennifer Sumber says while expenses for her 13-year-old daughter may have changed over the years, one thing that hasn't is how pricey everything is.
The health care, the dental care, 2.5 years from wait for getting her driver's license, college, saving up for that one.
According to a new report by LendingTree, the 18-year cost of raising a child in California has surged to over $286,000. Nationwide, it's more than $297,000, a 25.3% increase over 2023.
That's an awful lot of money considering how tight so many people's budgets are.
Matt Schultz is the chief consumer finance analyst at LendingTree. He says they came up with those numbers based on several factors.
From insurance premiums to the cost of rent to childcare costs, to daycare, to transportation, to food. There's just so much that goes in to raising a child.
Overall, California ranked as the 8th most expensive state, behind places like Wyoming, Alaska, and Washington. Hawaii ranked number 1.
The least expensive place tended to be in the Deep South.
While the numbers are daunting, Schultz says there are ways to save.
Whether it's just shopping around or buying used or getting friends and family involved.
In addition, he suggests parents take steps to ensure their financial foundation is sturdy.
That means knocking down your high interest debt like credit card debt. It means building an emergency fund so the next emergency trip to the hospital or the next time you have a flat tire, that money doesn't just go straight to your credit card. Those sorts of things can make a real difference.
Jennifer Sumber says she does what she can to save, including now sharing clothes with her daughter.
We wear the same clothes, wear the same shoes. So we save for a rainy day.
Shanna Handy, CBS 8.
Well, this would certainly help with those payments here if you win Mega Millions tickets. Well, guess what? They're now more expensive. The price for the game has jumped from $2 to $5. That's right. It's more than doubled. The starting jackpot will be $50 million, which is more than double the current starting jackpot amount of $20 million. Lottery officials say it will improve your odds of winning it all from 1 in 303 million to 1 in 290 million. The tickets will also include a built-in multiplier, which will increase non-jackpot prizes. Well, we talked to some locals who are skeptical of the increased odds and might stop buying the tickets.
It doesn't matter because you're still going to have so much odds against you. 5 per game. I mean, if I wanted to play 4 games, that's $20 versus 8. No, that's a little bit too much for me, I think.
The Associated Press reports that change aims to overcome jackpot fatigue, where the majority of players only start buying tickets when the prizes grow to huge amounts. Good luck to you if you are going to be splurging on those $5 tickets. Those are your top consumer stories making headlines. You can watch Working for Your Wallet every week on our streaming channel, CBS 8 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.